Warning: this is a true crime channel and is not for the faint of heart or the easily impressionable. This video may contain details that some viewers may find highly disturbing. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. You have been warned.
Hey everybody. I was recently going over some old videos of mine, just seeing what I can improve or change, and I ended up rewatching my ADD and ADHD video. And I know that hit really close to home for a few of you guys, and it definitely hit hard for me. And I actually got to thinking that while in that video I talked a lot about what it's like to have ADD or ADHD, I feel like I could still explain more, especially for parents of kids and adults with this disorder. Not only that, but also their partners, their friends. They can also, listen to this video because I'm going to be going over just a couple things there too. Because this disorder doesn't just affect the one who has it, it affects everyone involved and everyone who loves and cares for that person. I'm probably going to cry again, so bring tissues, because you probably will too. But this video, I really want more so to help the parents and partners and just family members of those who have ADD and ADHD, because you guys see it all. You see us at our best and at our worst, and as an adult, I want nothing more than to help the kids going through what I went through at their age, and maybe, hopefully, make it a little easier for them, make it a little easier for the parents, make it a little easier for partners to not understand, because mental disorders in general are very difficult to understand unless you have one. It's a very special kind of hell to have your own brain not work for you. So, I hope that by maybe informing you, which is the best way I can personally think of to help, maybe you guys can get an inkling of what it is, what goes on in our heads, and not just for ADD or ADHD, but for all mental disorders, because they all fucking suck. And they're all very, very, very difficult to live with, not just for the person who has it, but also for everyone involved. So, basically, I'm just gonna kind of talk about what's going on in our heads and just the basics of how we see you all and how we're feeling, because with ADD and ADHD, emotions are really hard to express. We can't always explain our thoughts well enough for us to communicate with you properly. And I would like to just take a quick second to note that sometimes ADD and ADHD is very mild, and you might not even notice that you have it or that the person that you're around has it. And for parents in that cases, you won't really have to do much of anything. And if that's the case for you, great, then you really don't need this video. But for those cases where that's not the case, where it's a daily struggle, where you find yourself staying up all night worrying about the future, about what's going to happen to your kid years down the line or decades down the line, this video is going to be full of a lot of tips for you to use and for you to understand, things for you to understand. So I really do hope this helps. Firstly, I want to tell you, the parents, that your kid with ADD and ADHD, they love you. They love you dearly. We love you guys in ways we can't describe or explain. And we want you to know that this isn't your fault. Because I know there's a lot of parents out there who probably blame themselves for what their kid is going through. And I just want to let you guys know, it's not your fault. You didn't cause this. This is just something that happens. There is nothing you could have done to prevent this. There isn't some magic pill you could have taken for prenatal, or there's no one thing that could have gotten rid of this before it started. This is ADHD, and ADD is not caused by bad parents. It has a lot of different causes. Some of them are genetic, others are a mutation. So if you really don't know what caused this or anything about it, you should really talk to your kid's doctor and neurologist and learn all the technical stuff. They can explain it to you best. You're not going to learn it from a YouTube video. YouTube videos can give you ideas of what questions to ask and maybe a little bit better of an insight, but it's not going to help you as much as a doctor or a neurologist. So, seriously, don't be afraid to ask your kids' doctor questions. Don't be afraid to ask your partner's doctor questions. Don't be afraid to ask them questions. Because if you don't know what's going on and you can't understand, the best source is right there in front of you. It's right there, and it's your kid, it's your partner, it's your friend. We live it. We live this bitch. And if you don't understand, don't be afraid to ask us. Please, don't be afraid. Because if you're scared, then we're gonna be scared. That's just how our brain works. If you're scared of the future, then so we're gonna be fucking scared of the future. That's just how our brain reacts. It acts in extremes. You will never meet a person with ADD or ADHD that doesn't have some form of extreme in their life. I've yet to come across it myself. I know I have my extremes, and that's what our brain is. It is a cataclysm of extremes. And I also want the parents in particular to know that when you lose your temper with us and yell, we know you don't mean it. We know we are hellish to raise and to live with, and we're sorry that we aren't easier to be around. We're sorry. We can't help it. And we're sorry. But we don't blame you. We don't. It's not in our nature to blame you. This is a disorder, and it's no one's fault. And we know it's scary. And we know you probably had all these big dreams for us and all these amazing ideas for us. And now you're not sure if any of them are possible. Well, they are. They still are. It's just gonna take more. It's just going to take a little bit more time. And I want you parents to know that you're not a bad parent because your kid has a disability. You're not a horrible person for getting frustrated. We get it. We're frustrated too. Shit, we have to live with our heads in a constant mess. You think you're at wit's end with this shit. How the fuck do you think we feel? We don't understand ourselves half the damn time, and we don't expect you to understand our own heads. We don't even know what's going on. So you're not a bad parent. Don't fall into that trap. Don't let other parents shame you because your kid has ADD or ADHD or has some kind of mental disability. Don't let other parents shame you. Fuck them. Okay? Just fuck them. Them and their fucking seemingly perfect kid. Because I guarantee you that kid is not perfect. I guarantee you. I also want you to understand that odds are we're not going to grow out of this. This isn't a phase, it's a disorder. And it's normally a lifelong thing. It's not going to go away. Don't expect it to just one day up and vanish, like that. That's not going to happen. But diagnosis is also not a death sentence. Just keep that in mind. Another thing you need to know, number 4 we're on now, I think. Meds don't cure this. It doesn't cure this. We will still have ADHD whether we take our pills or not. We're still gonna have it. All those pills do are balance us out, but these meds can make us do a lot of crazy shit too, so always talk to the doctor about our medication. And let us in on it too. Even kids, I don't care how little they are, let them know what the hell is going on, because there is nothing stranger and nothing scarier than being told you need to take this pill because reasons, and then you not tell us. Don't make us resent the only thing that's helping us. Let us know what's going on. We're taking the damn things. Let us know what's going on. Let us in on this too. Keep us in the loop. 5, remember that therapy is your friend. There are groups for your kid, and there are groups for you too. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There are therapists that specialize with kids like me, like us, and they're trained to help you cope too. Because this isn't just something that's just going to affect us, it's going to affect you too. Don't fool yourself into thinking it won't. And I don't care what disability your kid has. I don't care if it's ADD or ADHD or autism or Asperger's or any mental disorder you can think of. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Don't feel afraid or ashamed to take us to get that help either. Don't let people shame you. You know what's best for you, and you know what's best for your kid. And if that means you have to go see a therapist once a week, then by all fucking means do it. Don't be ashamed of it. There's no shame in asking for help. I mean, don't brag about it either, but, you know, don't feel like you have to hide it. Especially when they're little, because your kids will mimic you. If you make this disorder out to be a monster or this huge source of shame, that's exactly how they'll see it and treat it too. And that's gonna screw them up in the long run, because it screwed me up. Don't let the wizard be bigger than you or your kid or your partner or your friend. Don't let the wizard be bigger. And I know that's a really weird reference to make, but that's the best way I can put it. Don't let this be a death sentence. Don't let this be a monster for you. And don't let this be a monster for your kid. Because that is one of the worst possible mentalities to have with any mental disorder, especially ADD or ADHD. Don't make it out of shame. Don't make us ashamed of ourselves because of how we are. Don't do that. Don't let that happen. 'Cause that'll fuck us up. And that fucked me up. That fucked me up big time. And that's one of the biggest issues that we face for ADD and ADHD, is that shame. Is that drop in confidence, that feeling of inadequacy. The feeling that we're not enough. That no matter what we do, we're not enough. Or that we're lesser than someone else because of a fucking pill. Don't let that happen. Don't let that happen. Another key for you guys is to find a balancing system that works for you. Find a routine and a set schedule that works best for everyone. Trust me on this one. Lists, reward systems, and repetitive schedules. These things are your friends. Because our minds are chaos, we need structure. We can't structure it by ourselves. Especially kids. We have the hardest fucking time with time management and structure. The best thing you can do is to get us on a schedule, and to do this as soon as possible. With ADD and ADHD, life is fucking chaos 24/7. And having a set schedule, having something that is a constant, is a blessing and a lifesaver. If we can have one thing with someone with ADD or ADHD, it's consistency. That is the key. The sooner you get us on a schedule, the better off we're gonna do in the long run. Seriously. A set schedule, set activities, set times, have dinner together. That is so huge, not just for a kid with ADD or ADHD or any mental disorder. That's just for any kid. Structure is your friend. Schedules are your friend. Lists are your friend, especially with ADHD. Lists are fucking amazing. Write our chores down. Have us write important things down. That's a really good way for us to recall things, is to write them down. And I know it may get really annoying for you after a while, but this habit, getting us to get this habit, is your best weapon, and it's our best weapon. It's the best thing in the world. Lists. I love fucking lists. And sticky notes. Fucking sticky notes. They are your friend. They are your ally. Fucking sticky notes. Seriously, it sounds really weird, but I fucking love sticky notes. They are a lifesaver. Lists, the notifications on your phone, though, that shit are the best weapons in your arsenal. Another thing is when you see us getting frustrated, because we do get frustrated a lot, especially in school. When you see us in that struggle and you see us at that breaking point, let us decompress. Let us calm down before you step in. Especially with homework. Oh my fucking gods, especially with homework. I fucking hated homework. I fucking hated it because it was boring, because it was so absolutely mind-numbingly dull, and it is so easy to forget shit. And just as a note, people with ADD and ADHD tend to work at a slower pace. We have to do that. It's a necessity, because our brain can go miles a minute, and our entire body, our entire mentality cannot keep up with the pace that our brain moves at. We can't do it. It's just not possible. So please let us work at our own pace and don't rush us. Another good thing for school is flashcards with analogies. Those are great for school and play to our strength. Analogies are our strength. We are very good at making analogies. Even if you can't follow them, odds are we can. Seriously, analogies are our strong suit. They are our biggest strength if we ever had one. Another good thing, not just for kids like me, like how I was, but just for any kid, is reading out loud. Read out loud to us about subjects that we like and things that we need to know, and doing that actually helps us retain the knowledge, because we tend to be very auditory learners. We learn by listening. We learn by hearing something over and over and over and over again. That's how we learn. We can also tend to be very tactile learners. We learn by touch, by doing. The way that most schools actually end up teaching is a very visual way of learning, and that doesn't work very well with ADD or ADHD. Visual learning does not work very well. You can't just show us in a book and then we learn it. That's not how our brain works. That's not how we function, and it doesn't stick. We don't retain it very well. But hearing something over and over and over again and doing it while hearing it, that is a much better process of how we learn. That's a much easier, it's a word I'm looking for. It's a lot more graspable. We can grasp it. It's understandable. It's something we can hear, we can touch it, we can experience it, and that's what's going to help us retain the knowledge that you give us. Also, don't fucking baby us. Please, for the love of the gods, don't do that. We're not stupid. We're not helpless. Let us try. Support us when we do well and support us when we fail. That's all I ask. And don't discourage us from being independent. You won't always be there. You can't always protect us. So let us learn how to protect ourselves. If you see your kid is being bullied, try getting your kid to use their analogy making and use their intelligence, because with ADD and ADHD, we are intelligent. We do have an intelligence. And we can use it. But we need to learn how to use it. And you can help us with that. Especially if you yourself are very quick-witted, teach us that skill. Let us learn that skill from you. Let us know that it's okay for us to stand up for ourselves. Let us know that it's okay to speak up, because that's one of our biggest issues, is the fact that we're so lacking in confidence and self-esteem that a lot of the time we let people walk on us. And that is so horrible. Not only for our mentality, but also for our disorder. That is the fucking kryptonite of our entire mentality. Let us know that it's okay to show our strength. Let us know that it's okay to stand up for it. Let us know it's okay to say no. Because when you're that low in self-confidence and when you're that low in self-esteem, you don't want to say no. Because you feel like you don't deserve to have that ability. You feel like you don't deserve it. Like you don't get that choice. And you do. So, let us learn how to protect ourselves, because you're not going to be there all the time. Let us learn that. Let us be that. Another thing, treat us with love, with support, and just understand that we're trying. We might not be perfect, but we're doing the best we can. And for fuck's sake, don't use our disability as a weapon against us. And this sounds fucking horrid too. Because you guys do this shit. And it's low. And it's crappy of you. Really. You don't need to tell us that how at our age we shouldn't need to make lists of shit. Don't bring up our past failures and breakdowns and arguments. Oh my God, please don't fucking do that to us. It's cruel, it's low, it's fucking with our heads like you wouldn't believe. I'll give you a great example. When I was a real little kid, I had a really hard time learning how to ride a bike. A really fucking hard time. Especially without training wheels. That was fucking hard. And I would get frustrated. And I got so frustrated once that I actually had a break. I broke down and I cried and I yelled. And I was, in that moment, my disability. I was my disability because I just couldn't grasp what my parents were trying to teach me how to do. And I have yet, to this fucking day, heard the end of that. And it is something I have wanted to put holes in the wall about. Don't fucking do that to us. It's fucking bullshit. And I can't help but get angry just thinking about it. Just don't do that to us. Don't fucking do that to us. Don't do that to anybody, but seriously, don't do that to someone with a fucking disorder like that. But I have to say, the most important thing that you guys need to understand and to accept is actually probably the funniest damn thing I can think of, actually. You need to understand, parents, friends, partners, hell, even kids of adults with ADHD. You need to know something, and you need to understand this, so this is fucking important. We are not normal, okay? We are not normal. You have ADD or ADHD, you are not fucking normal, okay? We can't be normal. We will never be normal. Please accept the fact that you will have a weird kid. Accept the fact that you have and will have a weird partner. We are weird as a partner, we are weird as kids, we are weird as friends. We will never fit that little box, okay? We won't. It's not gonna happen. Let that dream die. Trust me, it will be that much easier to get through life if you just let that go. We have weird habits. We have weird hobbies. We'll have weird friends. Okay? We're fucking weird. We have a Ferrari brain that runs on Chevy brakes with an equally shitty suspension. We don't, like I said, we don't think inside the box, we don't think outside the box, we don't even know where the damn box is. Please accept that about us. Because that's never gonna change. Just accept that weirdness about us, please. Accept the fact that we're weird like that. And this goes across the board too. It's not just habits, it's not just hobbies, it's not just our choices and friends. I mean, keep us safe, for fuck's sake. Don't let us do something stupid. I mean, we're compulsive little fuckers, so, you know, have some boundaries, but don't try to make us normal. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work. And for partners, this also translates into the bedroom. We are ADD. We will lose, even with sex, we will lose our attention very quickly. So, odds are you're probably gonna have to adopt a couple kinks. Just saying. That's a given. We're weird. We are weird, we are kinky, we are nutty, we are all kinds of fucked in the head. Please just accept that. Accept the weirdness and embrace it. Embrace the strange. We aren't normally dangerous or violent, so unless that's a trait that's showing up, we're just ADD or ADHD kids, okay? That's just how we do. That's how we do. That's how we are. We are demented, psychotic, and sometimes just fucking off the wall little bastards. Love us anyway. And the best, absolute best thing is when you, as a parent or as a friend or as a partner, can share that aspect of weird. If you see us being weird, be weird with us! Share that oddball hobby of watching serial killer documentaries. Get excited over seeing a random dog on the street like you're 5 years old and you've never seen a dog before in your life. Be weird. If your partner all of a sudden looks at your kids playing on the swing set, and your partner all of a sudden just gets up and darts off and runs up the fucking slide because reasons. Don't tell us to be an adult. Don't do that. Don't crush us. Don't. Let us be the retarded giant 10-year-old that we all are. When you come home and you see us on the floor with your kids, and we're coloring, and all of a sudden we go up and go, okay, which one of you little shits took the red crayon? Accept that. That's who we are. That's how we do. That's natural to us. When we want to play with the kids' toys at Toys R Us as much as the kids that are also playing with the toys in the Toys R Us store, accept it. We are forever a child at heart, and that's one of the magical things that parents can see too. Because no parent likes to see their kid grown up. No parent likes to see that aspect, that magical, wondrous thing that is childhood. No one wants to see that die in their kid. Well, with ADD and ADHD, that never does die. We're always going to be that kind of child, that we will always have that wondrous aspect, that magic that is childhood. Don't just accept it. Be weird with us. Because that's something we understand. And that's something that is gonna bond us to you stronger than any other fucking thing you can think of. Partners, don't be our parents. We already have parents. Don't be our parent. Be our partner. Be our lover. Be our husband. Be our wife. Be our partner. And friends, be our friends. Tell us when we're doing something ridiculously dumb. Tell us when we're acting like a fucking psychopath. Please, tell us, because honestly, half the time we're not even sure. And yeah, ask us, like I said before, ask us if we've eaten. With fucking Adderall, we forget to eat. It's a thing. It happens. I know a lot of people probably don't believe me, but yeah, we forget to eat. Our brain is going a mile a minute. We forget to fucking eat. We'd forget our own head half the time if it wasn't attached. So seriously, that is a thing you need to watch for. It's not just because, Adderall or Adderall XR, it's an appetite suppressant on top of it, and it speeds up our metabolism. We're also forgetting to eat. That's probably why most of us are fucking skinny, okay? A good vast majority of us are actually very skinny, if you've never noticed that. We are actually very skinny, mainly because our metabolism is going 10,000 miles a minute, our brain is going 10,000 miles a minute, we're forgetting to eat, and we're not realizing how fucking hungry we are until we finally stop. And stopping is not our strong suit. Stopping is not no. Stopping is a no. Breaks are difficult. But back to my original pinpoint this. If you're comfortable with being weird and with all of this, then we're going to be comfortable with it too. And I say this, and I want you guys to understand all this, because the worst thing about having ADD or ADHD or any mental disorder is feeling alone in the world. It's feeling trapped on the outside looking in. It's that level of I'm the only one, that level of isolation. That's the worst part. That is the hell your kid faces. That is the hell your friend or your partner faces. It's chaos. It's horrifying. It's crippling. It's our mind, and it is our own personal hell. And I wish I was making that part up. But it's true. It's really true. Because that feeling of it's just you, and you're just there, standing in the middle of it all, is the worst feeling in the world. It is horrid, and it hurts more than I could possibly explain. Humans by nature are social creatures. Our disorder, because of how it makes us, more often than not, makes us more or less a social pariah. Kids notice shit that's different. And they're good at noticing shit that's different. And that's where it always starts, in childhood. Now, some of us, we're not very social because of it. Because we know we're different. We know it. We can see it. We can feel it. We notice it. And it's because of that that contributes to us feeling forever alone. It contributes to our not talking about it, to keeping those emotions bottled up because we don't feel like anyone's gonna understand. Or if they do understand, they don't care. And I have to say, that's the worst part, is the fact that there are so many of us with this disorder, and yet consistently every single one of us has had that thought of we're all alone. That it's just fucking us. It's us against everything. And there's no one on our side. There's no one to turn to. It's just us with our dysfunctional brain. And that's it. And that is our biggest fear. That is our personalized hell on earth. Our brains are already chaos. And chaos when faced alone is 1,000 times worse. And honestly, that level of feeling that no one has your back, that no one understands, that nobody cares enough or knows enough to get the fact that you're struggling, to see that you're struggling, is something I would not wish on my worst enemy. But you guys, as our parents, as our friends, as our partners, you can be there for us. You can help get rid of that fear just by being there, by letting us know that we're not alone. Because as long as we know we aren't alone in our struggles and in life, we know we're gonna be okay. As long as you're there with us, and we're not alone, we know we're gonna be okay. And that's not just the key for ADHD or ADD. That's the key for all people with mental disorders, to not feel alone in our own struggle. And the best way you can help your loved one in that struggle is to make sure that they know that they aren't alone. Understanding and acceptance is the best balm for us. It calms that storm. It lets our brains stay quiet just for a little while. And to a mind that is constant chaos and constant noise, that silence, that knowledge that somebody out there gets it, that we aren't all there is the most beautiful thing in the world. When you hear nothing but noise, silence is more magical and more fantastic than the most beautiful orchestra you can imagine. Nothing compares to that silence, that one lone thought, that one lone comfort. Nothing is better than that. I hope that this second video helped some of you guys out. And I hope it helped some of the parents out there and partners and friends to help kind of have an idea of what their loved one and what their friend is going through, or what their own parent has gone through. You don't need to be our shield. We can be our shield. But it's always nice to have a little backup. Especially with how the world is. I wish you all the best. And until next time, my most beloved horde, blessed be and stay classy.